We've got a little weather going on here in the Philippines that many of you might be interested in, and it can happen. Uh, I don't know, not that often, but here we've had a few days very windy. In fact, about 5 days anyway. A lot of these ferries they can actually go out when it's pretty breezy and higher waves, but there's a certain point in time where the Coast Guard shuts everything down. And this article is from the sunstar.com.ph. Sea trips canceled due to bad weather. And I took my binoculars out a couple times yesterday and today, and I did see one ferry, a slow ferry, what would be called a slow ferry, headed out into the waves, which kind of surprised me today, which is the 16th. But anyway, this is several sea trips from Sabu were canceled due to inclement weather and rough sea conditions. The Coast Guard District Central Visayas issued travel suspensions due to the tropical storm Babinka on Saturday, September 14th, 2024. It said that all operation will resume once it is deemed safe for vessels to navigate the seas. And travel advisories were issued for vessels with a gross tonnage of 250 and below, affecting routes from Negros Oriental, Western Bohol, Eastern Bohol, Camotes, and Siquijor. Additionally, vessels with a gross tonnage of 15 and below are temporarily prohibited from setting sail from northern Sabu, central Sabu, and southern Sabu. Also on Saturday, the Cebu Port Authority, CPA, posted on its Facebook page the canceled trips from Cebu to Bohol. Apparently, that site, CPA, is the place to get this information. We'll jump over there here momentarily. When asked if there were passengers who were stranded, she said they would make a declaration at 7 p.m. We'll be turning over the stranded passengers to the concerned LGU for sheltering since they are not allowed to loiter in the port, especially if the wind and waves are strong. No doubt, across the northern Luzon and other islands, many other areas, ferries have been shut down as well because there is a major storm going on, kind of through the middle of Luzon and northern Luzon as well. So this is just talking about the Visayas areas primarily. Jumping over to Cebu Port Authority on Facebook. Um, Territorial jurisdiction of the authority includes all ports, seas, lakes, rivers, and all other navigable inland waterways within the province of Sabu, the city of Sabu, and all other highly urbanized cities which may be created hereafter. Port advisory. Please be informed that as of 5 a.m., I believe, 500 hours, September 16th, all trips for light shipping bound for San Carlos City from Toledo Port have resumed. Fastcat and Asnar trips remain canceled. Canceled trips, Cebu to Hetafe. All right. I guess this is where we get our information. May we know its status via CCAT. Canceled trip, September 15. So I believe this site is the best for finding out what is, anyway, for the Cebu area, for the Visayas area. And each area is going to have its own, the Coast Guard perhaps, or other authorities. But on the ferry sites themselves, I have not found much luck in finding out what is canceled, what is running. And sometimes, if you're traveling from out of the area and you're traveling a few hours to get to the ports, to get on the boat, that information is not available, and it can happen very quickly until you show up, and then you've got to decide, well, now what? We need to get a hotel or call friends, something like that. And it's not always the port authority and you want to know the Coast Guard, the Port Authority in your area, whoever puts out that information. Sometimes it's the shipping line themselves who announces it, such as this particular case with Jamalia. And this is 3 days ago. This is Jamalia Shipping Corporation, Sandsdenau City. This is to formally inform your good office that the trip scheduled for today, September 13th, Friday, bound for Consuela, has been canceled until further notice due to unfavorable weather conditions. Safety and well-being of our passengers are of top priorities. So let's jump over to a couple weather sites and see what's really happening here in the Philippines. And the second site we're going to look at, windy.com, very, very good app, and you can use it all over the world, wherever you live. Agency in charge of forecasting weather and typhoons. So anyway, this is their website. Gives you the time up here. Standard time, the 15th is, even though it's 16th now. This was their forecast as of about 7 p.m. on the 15th. So here it is. We're about noon on the 16th, and I guess I would expect that they would update this fairly soon. Anyway, over here on the left, you've got legends where you can check out different types of things, learnings, and weather in general. But anyway, this is an advisory that basically stated beware people using the agency name soliciting money, because they don't do that sort of thing. Anyway, here's the forecast for Port Area Manila. And you can check out forecasts for various towns and cities. And here's the map over here, and we're looking at here's the legend, tropical cyclone. Start down here, the storms start as a low pressure system, usually off to the east of the Philippines. In the Philippine Sea, they often develop into a tropical depression, that's a D, tropical storm. And as you see up here, they've got D, tropical depression, and as it goes across, it's a tropical storm. And when you have this here, a severe tropical storm, looks like a typhoon, but not quite. And then the T is typhoon and super typhoon. And anyway, we're gonna enlarge. Just go down here and see what else they have. They've got some other information that you can avail of yourself. And general flood advisory. Anyway, let's expand this map. Now this, what's called the Philippine Area of Responsibility, PAR, Philippine Area of Responsibility, where the Philippines takes over from other weather agencies, Japanese, other agencies. When it comes into this red box, a bit of a rectangular box, and Philippines will take a storm, they will change the name to a Philippine name, and then when it leaves, like this storm is going to just clip the corner of the Philippine Area of Responsibility. Philippines will change the name in this area, and when it leaves, it'll go back to the international name. A little bit confusing for a few people, but anyway, we've got tropical depression. Makes it difficult for you to see the outline of the Philippines. This is Mindanao down here. This is Sabu Island, Negros Island. Like I said, it's difficult to see. What do we have here? General flood advisory in western Visayas. General flood advisory moderate, region 8, eastern Visayas, eastern Samar, Biliran, northern Samar, and Samar. And this, there again, you got D, tropical depression. And it's not unusual For these storms, I've heard a number of times over the years, 9 years I've lived in the Philippines, I've heard weather forecasters see a storm out here and say, well, it's nothing to worry about, nothing to watch, nothing to worry about, but we'll watch it, and it develops this warm, very warm water of the Philippine Sea. These storms hit that warm water and gain a lot of energy, and more than a few times that don't worry about this system, this low pressure system has turned into a typhoon and then a super typhoon as it nears at the actual landfall in the Philippines. Now, the Philippines, on average, nothing is normal. On average, year they might get 20, 22 named storms that come into the Philippine area of responsibility in this box. Many of those do not make landfall, but they do affect the weather here in the Philippines. And they draw moisture in from the south, and even though it's going, a lot of these storms and typhoons go up north, hit Taiwan, head towards Korea and Japan. This one looks like it's going to go through the area of, and even having a major effect in the Manila area. It's the good thing is that it's increasing the water in the dams that were extremely low, where a lot of the irrigation water and drinking water comes from. But yeah, occasionally these storms come right across Luzon. They may even, a couple of years ago, Super Typhoon Odette made its way through the Visayas, and whereas these outer islands, Samar, Leyte, oftentimes take the brunt of that, and they lose their strength. Um, Odette a few years ago, in 2013, there was a big Yolanda was the Philippine name, came through here, did major damage across the central Visayas as well. Now, jumping over to my favorite app and website, it's freewindy.com, and you can get forecasts and watch the weather all over the world. Just give you an idea here, it's across the Pacific, over to the U.S., Canada. I grew up over here in Minnesota. Too cold, too long for me over there, and over to, of course, Europe as well. Europe, Asia, and back to the Philippines. Japan up there, back to the Philippines. So let's zoom in here a little bit. We'll see what's going on. And got a menu up here. And what's really interesting, how much information they give you for free. Here's the weather radar. Weather radar. They've got just, you can see, and they even show lightning. You've got satellite view. They've got a new thing where they combine satellite view and weather radar, which is really nice. Combine them. And then they have wind as well. Wind gusts. And I can tell you, here the last 5 days, we have had major wind. In fact, to make this video, I've had to close my windows part way. In fact, yesterday that was so strong, I was afraid it was going to blow my windows shut or open very violently and bust my windows. So I actually had to close them for a while. But yeah, I haven't used hardly any air conditioning the last week because we've had cooler weather, cloudy, rain a couple times a day, lots of wind blowing through my condo, rain and thunder. And rain accumulation, if you want to know how much rain accumulation is. Down here, here's your legend. And yeah, the red um, around 200 millimeters. Now 100 millimeters is about 4 inches. You can change millimeters to inches in the lower right also. They use the metric system here, so yeah, 10 centimeters is the same as 100 millimeters, and 100 millimeters is almost exactly 4 inches. So if you've got 200 millimeters would be about 8 inches. Really heavy rainfall. Sometimes you hear here in the Philippines, 300 millimeters is about 1 foot, 12 inches. And on a rare occasion, you get even 500 millimeters would be just under 20 inches of rain. And the problem is with these big storms, it comes down very quickly, creates a lot of flooding. So you're all old enough now to know better, but warning: don't be walking through, driving through rapidly moving water. Doesn't take very much to knock you off your feet, and you lose your life here in the last week or two as a typhoon kind of went across the northern Luzon area and caused a lot of flooding. There were quite a number of people who drowned, who were swept away, and landslides, I think, got a couple of people, I think, as well. So be aware of the risks, the hazards. And anyway, that's it. Thanks for coming along. Safe travels to you all. See you next time.